most awesome Sims 2 fans, and welcome back to part 2 of our apartment build. We took the Land Grab shopping center last week and added 2 new apartments for Malcolm Land Grab. In this exciting conclusion, dun dun dun, we will be decorating those apartments for 2 new renters. This is what our buildings look like last week prior to adding the apartments. And I mentioned this because I had done quite a bit of renovations prior to even adding the apartments. This is what the buildings look like before I ever touch them. You can go on Mod The Sims and download this for your game, and I'm going to put the link down below. So here we go. As you can see, never a dull moment in my game. That crash is the actual reason we had to split the series into 2 parts, but we still love our Sims 2 most of all. If you are liking my content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. And if you have any insights, tips, and tricks on how to build, please comment. So when I started building here, my mindset was this is a 2-bedroom apartment. It's going to be a single mother and a daughter in this apartment. The other apartment was going to be a single person. I eventually thought, oh, it's going to be a single guy. But then I really started thinking about this and decided, let's get 2 specific Sims that we're going to get into these apartments, mainly because I like the idea of actually decorating for 2 Sims. So I have an idea of exactly who we're going to stick in here, but we need to have a little bit of tea first. So grab a cup of coffee and settle in, because do I have a story for you. And it begins with Mr. Malcolm Land Grab. He is married to Nina Caliente, who at this point is now a senior, and he is not. So what happened with them is Nina's sister Dina married Mortimer Goth, which I mentioned in the last episode, and she was not to be outdone. So she marries Malcolm, but she's a lot older than him, and he's still young and obviously of ill reputation, and he ends up meeting a young woman named Vanessa, who is a waitress in my downtown, and he gets involved with her, and she has a child. She names this child, once she has it, Malcolm Jr. It was a little boy, and so he believes that this kid is his, even though it's not. I'm giving you some inside info. And he tells her that he's going to take care of her, and he flashes his money all around downtown. She's always been interested in owning her own business. So he says to her, why don't you come to Pleasant View, leave the big city, come to Pleasant View, and I'm going to take care of you. So he makes her manager of the bar down below. And so, okay, she's going to come, she's going to leave the city that she loves. So she's a city girl through and through. And she comes here to Pleasant View, and he sticks her in this crappy apartment. So anyway, you guys are going to have to kind of have a moment where you're using your imagination with me for an entire second, because these apartments do not work without mods. So she is in a crappy apartment down the street. This is a real story, but she cannot really live in these apartments. So we're going to pretend these are the apartments that she lives in. So pretend with me for a whole second. One of the pictures that I end up putting on the wall here is a giant poster that reminds me of something that you'd have in New York or a big city. And my feeling was she left a lot of her stuff behind, but she was able to ship that picture, and she had to have it. So we're going to talk a little bit about why her apartment is so dingy. So she left all of her stuff behind, and you can see she has her suitcases and she has boxes, but she has all of this hand-me-down stuff because Malcolm did not do what he said. Like, he acted like he had all this money and he was going to take care of her. Instead, he did make her the manager of the bar, but he really has not given her much of anything. And she has become deeply resentful. She does get a pretty decent salary from the bar, but she is socking away everything because she hates Pleasant View. She wants to go back to the city. She believes Malcolm Jr. is a very smart young man and that he deserves to go to better schools. And to her, that would be in the city. So anyway, you see me putting apartment doors on here, even though they will not work. That is what we are going to do right now. And I just like the idea that we're going to make believe that they're going to work. People will just kind of come and go. Without a mod, there's no hope for them. But anyway, so Vanessa here is now stuck in Pleasant View, dreaming of the day that she can go back to the big city. And she's squirreling her money away because he's not going to give her the money to go back. Now they are constantly fighting, and Malcolm at this point believes, because he knows what she has in the bank, because he has people everywhere, he believes she must be skimming money off the top, which obviously isn't true. She's not buying anything. She's buying hand-me-downs. You know, the stackable chairs are just something that came from her apartment, from the city. You know, she's trying to sell stuff at online auctions. I don't know, like Etsy sort of deal. So that's what's going on with her, because every cent she can make, she is trying to get out of Pleasant View. That's the only thing that she can think of, because in her mind, she can't stand being here. So we're keeping this apartment kind of grungy. You know, she's trying to make it nice for Malcolm Jr., make it as cute as it possibly can. But this is basically the bottom of the barrel for her. And she cannot believe that she believed that Malcolm, you know, would do this. In fact, I had her come and visit this apartment. You'll see it at the very end. And it's so funny, you don't really catch it, but not Dina, Nina Caliente was in the other apartment. And I don't know if, you know, she was looking for clues, but she knows there is something going on. And I believe she was up here trying to catch Vanessa or catch Malcolm, because I think she knows that there's something going on. Although I don't think she would divorce him, because actually I think only one of her children is Malcolm's, because she kind of plays around on the side because she's a romance sim. Anyway, but she's an elder now, so these things mean more to her, and they've built a life together. So she does not want to have to worry that he might be divorcing her for this other woman. So she was going to confront this home wrecker. Anyways, so I believe too that the whole Nina Dina thing has been an issue, because I really think that Nina just married Malcolm because her sister Dina had married Mortimer. And Mortimer Goth, I think, had Mortimer not been mourning Bella for the last 20 years. I mean, every Sims game, it's about Bella and the disappearance of Bella and where is Bella and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I guess Sims 4 Bella's still there, but we all know Bella goes missing. And what was she doing on the top of Don's roof? I mean, there's something up with this Bella. Anyway, I don't know why the whole town has been hung up on Bella, but really, Mortimer stopped doing anything. I mean, he dropped out of all public life because of Bella, and Cassandra too. You know, that she would be marrying somebody who was possibly Bella's lover, somebody who's possibly involved in the disappearance of Bella. Anyway, there's all kinds of lore that you can get involved in with that. But anyway, that this woman has tied everybody's life up so it gave Malcolm Landgrab a chance to kind of come in and take over the town. And so it's almost as if It's a Wonderful Life has come into play, and whoever the bad guy was in It's a Wonderful Life, I'm gonna have to put his name up here if I can think of it. But anyway, so you see me now decorating the bathroom. You can see Vanessa is really trying as best she can to make this kind of roach-ridden place. If I could find the little thing and put the mouse hole in the apartments, I would. So anyway, so now we're going to apartment number 2, and I'm going to put the apartment door there as well. And here is an interesting fact about apartment number 2. So Malcolm does think that Vanessa is skimming off the top of his business, so he is not happy with that, and he's a criminal. So he got one of his associates, a young guy, and his name is Danny Bag of Donuts, and his nickname is Murder Mittens. So he got Murder Mittens to move into the apartment next door to keep an eye on Vanessa. So now Murder Mittens is watching Vanessa, and this is Murder Mittens' apartment. So we are decorating this apartment for Malcolm's lackey, Murder Mittens. So there you go. That's what we're doing. So you're going to see me putting together kind of a single guy's apartment, and that's where this came from. There's a bottle of wine. I threw it over there because one of the interesting things was when I put Murder Mittens and Vanessa in apartments near each other, which that is a real thing in my game, in the real apartments where they are, Murder Mittens and Vanessa became friends. So I don't know what's going to go on there. I don't want to give too many clues away, but it seems as if Murder Mittens and Vanessa have developed quite a friendship, and Murder Mittens is getting along quite well with young Malcolm. Now, it seems to me that Vanessa is a clever girl, and she is getting quite friendly with Murder Mittens. Oh, I mentioned this in all my builds. You see me putting in radiators. So I put in air conditioning units and radiators. While I didn't have to do this because these apartments are not functional without any kind of mods, in my game I do use mods that make the weather really affect my Sims. So just because I was having fun with this, I was decorating, I'm thinking of Vanessa and Murder Mittens, we put this in here. And also too, if I have Sims that come up here to watch television or something, I don't want them freezing to death or having heat stroke. So anyway, like I was saying, that Murder Mittens and Vanessa have become really close. So I don't know, maybe there's going to be some kind of romance or something going on between Murder Mittens and Vanessa. Anyway, as I'm kind of messing around here, I realize that in Murder Mittens' bathroom, I had not put a sink. So we're going to put a sink over here, and then we're going to put the towels back over here. I kind of had fun putting the messy towels and the plunger over here. I thought instead of putting a second sink, that was a better idea because after all, we got a single guy living over a bar. He may need a plunger. My daughter thought that was a little much, but it made sense to me. I'm just saying. Also, I was thinking, how would a single man decorate? I think I went a little overboard with Murder Mittens here because I remember when I married my second ex-husband that he was well into his 40s and he was a single guy, and I go into his living room and he had this gorgeous television and a nice couch, and that was pretty much all he had in there. But he has the TV hooked up and it's dead in the middle of the room, and instead of just having it plugged in the wall because it was like in this middle of this big room, he had one of those outdoor extension cords, the big orange ones that are plugged in there. And I was like, what the heck? And he goes, well, maybe I need a woman's touch. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm thinking Murder Mittens is your typical single guy. So that's why, he just has no curtains. He just has the blinds up there. He has like basic, bed, basic comforter sort of thing. He has just, the couch that he would want to be able to watch the TV with. The only place that I really, really set him up is I had originally thought that he would be a gamer before he was oh wait, I'm gonna stop my story for a second. So you're gonna see here the mirror doesn't line up, and I don't know if that's part of my mods or what's going on there, but if you move the dresser and you put the mirror and then you put the dresser back, everything will be fine. So I've noticed that glitch happens quite often, and that's an easy fix for it, so you don't have to make yourself crazy. So anyway, back to my story. For Murder Mittens, I'm thinking, he's going to have like a nice comfy couch set up and the big TV and the gaming thing. Anyway, the only place that I really went crazy for him is his gaming setup. So I'd originally thought a gamer would live here. And then when I decided that it was going to be Murder Mittens and Vanessa that I was decorating for, I decided that, he wouldn't just be a gamer. He's going to be a hacker because, of course, a younger person with hacking skills would be an asset to the criminal empire here in Pleasant View. So you're going to see me messing around here as we're getting down to the end of our decorating. And then here you're going to see me looking for lights, because any good gaming setup that I've ever seen, I don't have much of a good gaming setup, but young people seem to have lights. So then you're going to see me kind of looking around. I don't want to have to go download other custom content. So I find these neat neon lights. Don't ask me why. I always think of gaming stuff as green, even though I know sometimes it's like blue and I don't know. Anyway, so I put this in. Another fun trick that I like to do is if you put your time of day to nighttime, the lights are on so you can kind of see how it's going to glow. I'm a lights kind of girl, so when I went outside, I loved how the lights were kind of shining through the window. So here we are, we're pretty much done. And then this is what the end product is going to look like. So you had that quick view at the beginning. And here we are at the end. I think it looks great, even with our always Christmas tree stand out there that I never take down. Here it is in live mode. I sent Vanessa here so that you could see it. And I did a quick top down mode so we could look at it. Here are some stills. I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, happy simming, and bye-bye.